Welcome back, kings and queens, and we're back with another video. Let's get educated. Okay, so this is basically for you all to see. Hold on, let me pull it down a little bit. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. So, oh, wait. Okay. Yep, there we go. All right, so I just had to make it so that you guys could see it a little better. But yeah, so this is just things that I have studied in order to further understand the things that I share. You know, I don't want to say teach or anything of that nature. So, just I'm really just gonna scroll through and allow you guys to read. One thing I did want to point out was the Indian massacre. Um, but all of these are very important. All of these are very good things to, I mean, at this point, you can just simply Google these things like the Industrial Revolution, Treaty of Paris, Currency Act, um, American Revolution, Boston Tea Party, Intolerable Acts. And what I've learned to do is while reading um, the books that I read, I overlap all of these facts with the facts from those books. So I just make a big timeline. And for example, you'll see, let's go to Articles of Confederation from November 15th, on November 15th, 1777. So if I read anything around 1777 in a book, then I'll note that onto my timeline. If there's anything that was happening in that particular time frame, like there were no trains, there were no buses, that sort of thing is what I'll add to my timeline. So just scrolling down. Again, this is just for my audience to be able to have some facts to back up with all the videos. So out of all the videos that I've shared, because I didn't make the videos, of course, but for all the videos I've shared, you can see how these things would play into it. So the Judiciary Act of 1789, Naturalization Act of 1790. The Census Act is very, very, very important. There's a guy named Dane Callaway who you should go and check out. He is amazing with his documents, with his facts, with his material. Everything is factual. And I think it's a good start if you don't understand the census. I mean, of course, go and do your own research, but definitely he explains it, I believe, the best. So the Patent Act 1790, and that's the U.S. code to go along with it. So the Bill of Rights, everyone should know that. Not as a means to protect you, but as a means of understanding what was supposed to protect everyone in a means, I guess. If you really want to understand these things, again, I'm available. I share. But yeah, these are just some things that I'm sure a lot of people weren't aware of, or if they were aware of it, they just hadn't seen it in a while. But these are definitely not the things that are taught in history. So again, I'm just reading this bottom one. U.S. and Spain define the western limits of the Louisiana Purchase. That is important because, well, I mean, just go and take a look for yourself. I don't want to ruin everything. Trail of Tears. And again, in order to understand the full effect of these eras and these events, you must have several sources and several things that are going on from different sources so that you can time frame them or timeline them, excuse me. So you want to be able to know what came before and what came after, or what type of events happened before or what type of events happened after. The 14th Amendment is something that everyone should go and look into. How did it come about? How did the amendments come about? When did the amendments come about? National Bank Act. That's important because that was in 1864. There are more National Bank Acts. Department of Justice established 1870. So we already know in 1870 there was a bunch of racial things going on. In 1870, the justice system was created. So they want you to believe that there is no racial issues that is plaguing this earth. Property Act of 1882. Go and look into that. Eugenics. Francis G. 1883. Go and see what his ideas was, what his thoughts were, what type of influence he had, who were his friends. It'll teach you a lot. The Progressive Era. Again, all these things are very, very, very informative. Public law. I mean, if you don't know, you know, how all these things tie in together, then there's no way for you to really see the true underlying issues. I mean, we can see clear as day, just everyday type situations, but this just proves and shows you, what was actually going on. A lot of people aren't even aware of an Australian Holocaust. What was the Uniform Warehouse Receipts Act? What was the Registration Act? Trust Agreement of 1912. Again, I want to give you time to just read through them, take a look, copy them down, take some notes if you need to. Again, just make sure that you're creating that timeline. So when you're writing something down, put it on a timeline. Federal Trade Commission Act, September, 2014, or 1914, or 1908, and then Civil Rights Movement from such and such to such and such. And I'll go over the race massacres in a second. I have an actual separate document I just made for this video. Rosewood. And again, the dates are very, very, very important because you want to be able to add that to a timeline to show his story, the past, the patterns, the Banking Act, 1933 and 1935. If you don't know about those, I suggest you get on, and this right here, this is this is an amazing document because this have a lot of the things in one place. This took me about 4 to 5 months um, to add, and I'm still missing a lot of things. But these were some of the most important that I ran across continuously. So if there's anything on here that you are not familiar with, I suggest you go and research. If there's anything you guys see on here that's like missing in between the dates that I have, I don't know if you noticed, but I tried my best in the beginning of the document to make everything on the timeline. But as I went further down and got more information and was just collecting things, it just kind of got out of whack. So, yeah. Bank Holding Company Acts. I mean, like I said, a lot of these things people really need to go and research. Even if you just do a quick Google and take some notes from the quick Google, that is perfectly fine because over time you'll start looking into it more. You'll come with more sources and information, and it'll be much easier. Coinage Act, Voting Rights Act. And some of them even tell you how it was wrong. Does anyone know what the move bombing was? Who did that? I mean, you can pretty much Google it right now and find out for yourself. All of these things are just not, I wouldn't say important, but it's good information to look up, Google, know, have in your back pocket. Also, if you see any names associated with these, go and look those people's names up. See what year they were born, what year they came into whatever occupation or profession that they were involved with. Vehicle Act. I mean, again, if you guys want me to do a separate video for some of these acts or events or situations, just leave it in my comments. Let me know. I'll definitely get on um, the documents and some videos to further explain in detail about these events. But like I was saying earlier, these can simply be Googled now. A simple Google will bring you right to the basic information that I have here. Homestead Act is something that I suggest everyone go in and look into. Federal Tort Claims Act as well. Like I said, all of them needs to be looked into, but there's just certain ones that may be a bit more than the others. The Administrative Procedure Act is definitely one on my top list. That is definitely one that needs to be looked over again and again by everyone. And once you get the concept of it, you'll understand why I said that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave a link in the description to a gentleman that is very, very good at this type of information. He's been doing it for a while. I believe he is a well, I don't know what he claims actually. Um, but again, I don't suggest you follow everything someone says. Just take the information that you need from it. The Indian Removal Act, redlining, all of these things are very, very important. It's what I've been speaking about in my videos prior. Um, sometimes discussing it with the trolls when they respond. And it's not for the trolls, it's just for people to see that, they still exist and they have no substance whatsoever. They're just here to just try and burn us, move bomb us again. I mean, like I said, it's probably a lot of things that people didn't know was even acts or things that they didn't even know existed. So I'm hoping this document can help someone as far as maybe seeing something they've never seen. They actually have a Potato Act of 1935. A Potato Act of 19. How many people knew that? Go to the comments and tell me how many people knew that there was a Potato Act prior to today, prior to this video. How many of you guys knew there was a Potato Act? Because before making this document, I definitely didn't know there was a Potato Act. Like, who makes a Potato Act? But it's there. So we're getting to the end of this document. And that's pretty much it. Again, if you want a copy of that, just let me know. This was for just a confirmation because someone let me know in my other video when I was doing my Instagram page that they couldn't read the document. So this was one of the documents that they asked me for. And that document was just to prove that the Bible was said to have built the United States. This is a document they don't want you to see. I suggest pausing the video, screenshotting it, and just printing it onto your wall. Or putting it on your wall. Don't print it, of course, onto your wall. Put it on your wall and just read over it every day. This is another document. It explains basically everything that I share with everyone. If you've ever asked yourself, how do police get away with this? How do, the system get away with this? Contact me. I'll help you understand. I'll give you these documents. And as we can see, this one is just basically self-explanatory. You can even Google it, but it's called word etymology. Oh, I bit my tongue. Word etymology, which will help a lot of people, especially when it comes to this type of situation or understanding this type of situation. This also you need to print and put up on your wall. Look over it every day, study it, get familiar with it. This will help you understand going forward. Let me make this a little bigger. There we go. So this is another one that I had on a prior video, but a lot of people said they couldn't see the smaller words. So I just wanted to reshare this one. And again, this is another document that should definitely be printed up so that, you can see it. And this document, it's pretty much self-explanatory, but I have this one. I gave this to all my kids. Anyone that I come in contact with, I try and hand this out to. But yeah, very, 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 very great paper here. Let me stop saying document. This is a very great paper. But yeah, if you need copies, want a copy, let me. And okay, so last situation. This is just a list. I'm just gonna run through this pretty quick. But this is just a list of what we've had to endure. And as you can see, it has not been a short period. It is not just like 5 years. Okay, you guys, we did this one thing to you guys and you guys get over it. So when the trolls are in the comments saying, hey, you're a liar, you're this, you can't prove it, and you're not doing this, and you're just lazy, and you don't work, and you... well, first of all, they're trolling, but it allows us to go and dig deeper and make sure. At least for me. So yes, we do utilize that negative troll energy to just make us stronger. Because all good energy will eventually turn bad if it's too much good. Too much good always goes around. I apologize if you guys can hear my kids screaming, but that's just the life of a mother. So just read this part here. I would just like anyone to just address this at all. Wait, I have one more. Where is it? Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm just going to run through this one quick as well. But I just wanted you to see a couple of notes. I suggest you go and look this up yourself. Again, anything that is presented to you, go and confirm it, debunk it if that's what it's going to be. But make sure you look. Don't just believe someone's word. You must always research. Always find out the truth. Always read, always take notes, always create a timeline. Have one big timeline at home, and if you're finding things out or documenting things and notating things throughout the day, then when you come home, add it to your big timeline. So I don't see how anyone could defend this or justify this video altogether, let alone the individual situations that happen. And this is the reason why, again, I don't get bothered by people, even the trolls, calling me racist, because anyone that knows me knows that I do not hate anyone because of a color. I have the right to dislike people because of their actions. Anyone has that right. Everyone has that right. Unfortunately, the American lands weren't built off that idea, were they? If you think they were, let me know. Give me some proof. If you have anything to debunk anything I've shown here, please send me some proof. If you have any sources, send them. I will do the research. I have no problem doing research whatsoever. So I hope that was informative, guys. I just wanted to have, a little bit of information out there. So until next time, please like, share, and subscribe.
Money.